What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cousin Cecil Show. I'm your host, Mike Fowler, aka Cousin Cecil. Thank you guys for coming back and listening. This week we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct, and then also I got to sit down and listen to or watch this masterpiece of a movie called Monster Hunter, and I wanted to kind of break it down and probably save you guys 2 hours of your life, and at this moment in time, $20. But let's get into what we usually do, what I've been playing, and honestly, I would again suggest everyone to go on to twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil and check it out. I've been playing Destiny 2 again, and this because of the new season, the Season of the Chosen. It is it's pretty good. How would I word it? I'm obviously been a relapsed Destiny 2 player, and this new season, and listening to the community and going through YouTube pages to, just also look into what's the best way to raise your light level. It sounds like this season is one of the better seasons for a version of the season pass that does not involve right with like a new add-on like Beyond Light. This season also puts a Cabal fleet in the spotlight, and the last time, to me, the Cabal has been in a spotlighted spot like this has been like almost like way back with the Red War, so like when Destiny 2 first came out. So I'm happy to see that, because also it changes it up. When you're a person who's played Destiny 1, 2, and now, and you're so used to, like, they could just throw it into the Fallen. And I understand now that they've Jedi mind tricked us all to say the Fallen is like the biggest enemy of them all, since obviously they have the biggest backstory, I guess, Destiny has, like Bungie has made for them. But yeah, apparently this one seems interesting. It also brings in this new game mode called Battlegrounds, which is by far, for a season game, seems way more fun. Last season of the Hunt had these hunts that could be done within like 2 to 3 minutes, and there's ways to cheese it to like have one party member go to the spot, kill it, and then the other one can turn it on and like repeat and rinse and repeat and all that stuff. It took within 2 minutes to get all your shit done. Battlegrounds is more of a 3-arc horde mode, it's pretty good. And then it feels more satisfying. It doesn't have also like those if you die, if your whole teammate dies, you have to redo everything. Nope, you just die and respawn and repeat. It comes with the new season's like little thing to get more armor with this hammer. And then they made it easier for like the season pass's currency, because like each season pass has like we said, I just said, you get like this Cabal hammer that you have to collect Cabal gold to charge it up, and you can obviously just go to the new seasonal destination in the tower called the Helm. And it's like they've listened to the community, and they made from other seasons that people complained about, sounds like this one has been listened to the most, and they've fixed a lot of stuff. The reason I'm more surprised I'm into it is because literally I again haven't been playing it, but seeing also YouTube pages, people were complaining about like the meta of Destiny, and then this one has came and kind of, not all of them, but they've also altered a lot of people's opinions and stuff. So it was a good time to jump in. But yeah, I've been playing it on my Twitch. I hope everybody can go see it, at least go follow, so you guys don't miss it. I did on live. I did this season pass's exotic scout rifle mission, which is by far the most in-depth mission I've seen Bungie has done for a weapon. And apparently it's one of those ones that you can rinse and repeat weekly, and get pinnacles off it. And now, since it's a good way to go watch Cousin Cecil, you can watch how you can, I don't want to say cheese it, but a one-man cheese in the sense of that you can, there is this spot that you can, you have to get up. So it's not like you're sit there and you can stay there till the cows come home. But, it's a way, strategy so you can do a one-man mission to get that exotic scout rifle. I know if you watch the video, obviously Chalfie was winning, but obviously he had a bounce. But the idea of, you understand the whole rigmarole that it can be done one man too. But yeah, that was me for this week. Let's get into some news before we get into, the big meat and potatoes, like I've been hinting at. Microsoft announced that there will be a frames per second boost for select backwards compatible titles, and the first slate of titles that is going to get this new boost mode is Far Cry 4, and this boost mode is minimum, it'll make these titles be 60 frames per second, and then they can go beyond that if the developers do it. It depends on the title, and there will be a new indicator that will tell you whether you have an auto HDR and frames per second boost mode activated. But there will be more coming in. But the first slate is going to be Far Cry 4, new Super Lucky's Tale. That one will go up to 120 frames per second. Sniper Elite 4, UFC 4, and Watch Dogs 2. So that's pretty cool. I mean, take what you get. The idea of Microsoft has been hitting that wagon of we worry about backwards compatible games, and guess what? They got something going on. They put in the work to make sure their community is satisfied with these old games in the sense of they can get the quote unquote best experience with them. So, but yeah, that's good to know. And there's of course more coming down the pipe, but this was just the first slate. Movie wise, Tim Burton is bringing a Wednesday Addams live action coming to age series to Netflix. Burton will also make his TV directional debut on the sleuthing, supernaturally infused mystery that follows Wednesday as a student at Nevermore Academy. So this is obviously first time for Tim Burton, quote unquote, to be a TV director. I wonder how that will go. For ideas, I mean, the last time I knew that he made a that Johnny Depp Shadows one, that was a movie about a TV series. So I mean, obviously he's been looking into type of material that were TV shows, so I don't think he's going to do that bad, but I'm not sure about the date. But yeah, it was just announced this week there's going to be a Wednesday Addams show, so that's kind of cool for Netflix. HBO Max also is developing a Constantine show with J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot production. And, I mean, it is cool and all. I mean, I'm not a big fan of J.J. Abrams anymore, so, I mean, I'm kind of nervous of, what does the Bad Robot bring to the table that's going to be, a niche of that developer-esque brand. But of course, everything's still on paperwork. There's no production date or anything. So basically an update will come down the pipeline whenever we get more news. Just wanted to put it out there. But, all right. Let me double check everything. Why not? We do it like this too, to make it right. Hey, how about apparently Konami has outsourced a Silent Hill project to a prominent Japanese developer, they said. The reveal will be this summer, according to VGC sources. Konami pitched Silent Hill to Supermassive Games, which was Until Dawn developers, at some point, but it just never worked out. And then there are also rumors that Konami is doing 2 reboots, this supposed Japanese game being one of them. And also, it says, take this all with a grain of salt, as usual. And then also, another kind of cool reveal was the Flash movie is going to have Supergirl in the movie. And they just casted their Supergirl, which is going to be Sasha Calle, Calle. Has been she's been casted, and this is stick with me. I'm going to say it. So I looked her up on IMDb, and she's been in some soap operas in the for daytime TV. She has on her IMDb page, she has like maybe 4-5 movies, and they're all like just kind of like suspense stuff and like not really this. So this is going to be her big time character, Supergirl. And I think she is going to be great. She doesn't have, of course, how would I word it? She's not that typical white bread, fucking blonde haired chick that people have Supergirl in her mind. She's obviously brunette. She's obviously she's American, but obviously she just she has Mexican genetics. Like she's half white, half Mexican, and she just looks. She has she just looks like she can do fine. And I also like the reason I'm bringing this all up like this dumb way I'm saying it is, it was really cool. They showed it on like a Zoom meeting. They had Andy, the director, and her on a video, and he was kind of be funny for like 30 seconds and asking her like these dumb questions like, hey, we got another touch-up question. We usually do this on after the interview. Can you fly? Blah blah blah. And she's like, what? And like, can you fly? She's like, no, but if you want me to, I can. And then he goes, okay, if you can, you're gonna need this. And he showed her a Supergirl suit, and she started bawling. And I know it's more about it's gonna be her big break. She don't give a fuck about the character, but the idea that this is her first shot, I think she's gonna put in the work, and she's gonna really shine more than people think. I think she looks great. I think the idea, there's been some people already made fan art with her, even with her brunette hair as Supergirl. I think it looks great. I think it also, hopefully she can do so well, she can at least keep that name and she can be Supergirl for other things for the DC extended universe. But congrats to Sasha for getting the spot. I'm looking forward to it. I've been saying it since I heard the news yesterday. I think she's going to do great. I'm looking forward to it now. But the other interesting thing is also, before we get off this topic, was the Supergirl outfit looked very Henry Cavill's version of Superman 2. It had like that very deep blue navy suit, the deep red, and then also has like that of course, like the more modern Superman S, but like it has that same like looks like embroidered version, like how Zack Snyder made in Man of Steel for the Superman suit. So it's interesting to see that. I mean, it also makes sense since I know they're just cousins, but even having a brunette Supergirl will be fine since obviously Clark Kent's brunette. He can just be the cousin of the proper way, But yeah, that's for me for these off-shot news. Is we're going to get into now the Nintendo Direct. And apparently the internet was really looking forward to this because this has been 530 days since the last time they've had a proper Nintendo Direct. Of course, obviously people who listen to the Cousin Cecil show know we've been looking into all those other Nintendo Directs that they did, but I guess they were just minis and indie showcases that don't count. So here's our first official Cousin Cecil show, Nintendo Direct. Analyze what's going on through their ecosystem. All right, they started off the Direct with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And they made it like a whole little trailer and all that stuff. And I thought maybe, they might be doing some more DLC or something. No, apparently this was just to reveal that Pyra and Mithra are new Smash characters for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But also, this also is going to bring this update's going to have Xenoblade maps and support characters added, more of those characters added to Smash Bros. Ultimate as well. So, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it does suck without me playing the game, but it's another anime character with a sword, which I've heard the internet talk about. It's kind of weird. They have so many other characters that could be obviously Waluigi still crying in his house watching everybody else get invited to Smash except him. But yeah, just like it's coming soon. I'm not sure when, but obviously sooner than later they're gonna have updates coming soon about when those two characters are gonna be added to Smash. So yeah. Fall Guys, the summer hit from last year, is coming to Switch and also Xbox this summer. They obviously, again, I've been looking into it. I'm going to say some of the ones that are coming to other consoles too. So Fall Guys is going to be a fully all console game by summer. And I think that's going to be cool. I think Fall Guys with a good internet connection on the Switch would be a great way to play it. I think it's going to be very addicting on there. The idea of being on the go and just being still able to play like a, I don't want to say serious, but like a really tone in battle royale style game of like we're going to eliminate people while you're on the go seems fun. But also Outer Wilds, a little indie hit that's on the other consoles already, is coming to Switch. It's don't get it confused with Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds is that indie game that your world and solar system is on a 22-minute relapse of like same time. It just keeps flipping back, and you have to solve why it does that. And if again, probably nobody's probably listened to it at the moment, but like when this came out last 2 years ago, because it wasn't this year, it was during 2019 Game of the Years with Giant Bomb. They gave it some really high praise, and they were going to give it some like top story like rewards. I think it got like maybe second place because I think there's maybe some other ones, but they loved the game over there. Next was apparently these are some dual narrative games that are first time coming to America, but it's Famicom Detective Club, The Missing Heir, and Famicom Detective Club, The Girl Who Stands Behind. When I say narrative, obviously it's going to be one of those like still frame pictures and you solve a mystery. I was looking into it just so I didn't sound dumb. Apparently this is an old like actual, when they say Famicom, they're talking about it's from the original like Famicom Nintendo system. But obviously now it's more modernized and more like the visual novels of today. I thought it's kind of cool, like for a like the idea of they can always do those classic Mario, like classic Zelda, but the idea they still have all these IPs that they can bring out. So they're bringing these two out, and it's going to come out March 14th. And apparently they're a little expensive. Like I think they're $40 each, and you can like save $10 if you buy both. It's like, Nintendo bullshit, but the idea of it seems interesting. This is what the thing with the Nintendo Directs. I always get those feelings like, man, maybe should I invest more in Nintendo? And then after some clarity, I'm like, nah, I'll just stick to the PlayStation. But yeah, next up was Samurai Warriors 5 is coming this summer. And also I didn't know Samurai Warriors played out like Dynasty Warriors. But just another Musha game. The ones with the hordes and you go like 1 versus 1,000 people at the same time. So it's cool that they're going to get one of those. The Legend of Mana is coming to Switch. This classic 20-year-old RPG has been enhanced with new music and arrives June 24th. Monster Hunter Rise gets a new trailer which reveals, it to me, looks like they revealed like a multiplayer horde mode of like monster hunting with your friends. Like because like you wrangle the monsters into like this little wooden like prison area and you just fight them. And it looks like you're with multiple players. and it looks way different than I've seen other Monster Hunter games. So I mean, that's cool for like a niche. Like this is only on the Monster Hunter Rise, which is kind of cool. It comes out March 26th, and they also showed that there is a new Switch bundle with decals of the game on the charging dock and all that stuff. So yeah, March 26th. But the biggest reveal that is really catches my eye and makes me go into should I get that Switch is Mario Golf Super Rush is real and looks great. It uses buttons and motion controls, because I just said that both because sometimes that matters to some. They have new modes. One of them is called Speed Golf, where everyone plays at the same time, and the first one to the hole wins. And there's a story mode, which looks really good. It looks like they really it looks so good. It made you think about getting a Switch for me. It comes out June 25th. So that's cool. Tales from the Borderlands is the old Telltale game is getting reissued, since obviously Telltale's no more. It's coming out March 24th, and it's also going to be reissued on other platforms too. Like I saw the PlayStation YouTube promote this too, and then I'm assuming Xbox already will, even though they probably have backwards compatibility, blah blah blah. And then they also have Capcom Arcade Stadium is out now, and it's one of those ones like it's free, quote unquote, and you get the game 1943 arcade game for free, but then you have to buy other cabinets for like if you want Ghosts and Goblins and blah blah blah. So yeah, and then they showed Stubbs the Zombie. Rebel Without a Pulse Remastered is coming out March 16th. No More Heroes 3 is August 27th. And this next one is going to be a Cousin Cecil. If this was out and I did hot picks for video games, I'd say that, but this one's going to be the one that shined the most off this Nintendo Direct for me. And I think everyone should check it out. It's called Neon White. This is a I'm going to highlight this game, like I said. It comes out this winter. It's like a first-person... how would I word it? If those first-person dungeon games, like those dungeon RPGs, had what is it called? Had a Mirror's Edge aesthetic to the running, this would be how I describe this Japanese game. It looks really good. That's why I'm saying everyone should go check it out and kind of keep that in your thoughts this winter about games to pick up, because it looked pretty good. Next was DC Superhero Girls Teen Power. Comes out June 4th. It's kind of like just, I don't want to call it shovelware, but the idea of like off the DC Superhero Girls cartoon. So it looks kind of cool. I mean, you know what it is. You know what you're getting into if you're going to hit it. It's like a THQ-esque game. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville Complete Edition is out March 19th. So Switch is going to get the basically the third installment of Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. And that's pretty cool for a multiplayer shooter that's definitely up the aesthetics of Nintendo's alley, not too violent, blah, blah, blah. And then they showed, they had this weird game called Miitopia. It looks like you can make Miis or collect Miis, and then it's like you do like a side-scrolling RPG game, and you can have friends with a horse and fuck it, or something, however they made the trailer look like. They didn't even show a release date, but I'm assuming it might be an old Wii U game because of how it is, but that's whatever. Animal Crossing is going to get Mario 35th anniversary items and costumes, even a workable warp pipe. And this will be all in the Nook shop, and we'll have it on March 1st. Animal Crossing's update will be February 25th. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, the warp pipe thing is kind of cool, so you can have one on one side of the west side of your island, and you can pour it all the way to the east side of your island with no problem. That's kind of neat. And then they showed a new Square Enix game for the Switch called Project Triangle Strategy. It was shown while writing it. It seemed like this was going to... I thought this was going to be the new game from... Stick with me, I'm going to say it. I thought it was going to be the Octopath Traveler, and I didn't know if Octopath Traveler is a Square Enix game, but I have a feeling it is. So, but yeah, it's from the same developers of that, and it basically Octopath Traveler's aesthetic of like that 2D, really beautiful looking game, but with Final Fantasy's Tactics battle system now, where like there might be 3 levels to the battlefield, and like it's strategy wise, but they also made it so that the story can change judging by how the kingdom votes during like the story mode. So you can probably do replayability stuff, and like that's why it's called Triangle. It's 3 castles, so the idea of like you can vote with Castle Yellow and might change the story for you for the whole game, and you can replay and choose a different castle and all that stuff. It looks interesting. There's a demo out for it right now, but obviously there's no release date, so you can go download the demo right now on your Switch and just test it out. I've heard on the internet people are liking it already, and I thought it looked good in the trailer, so I'm on that side too. Then we had a 10-second snippet that there's this Star Wars Hunters game coming out for 2021. It's a free-to-play game between the episodes 6 and 7. It looks like it's going to be like an arena shooter. It's by Zynga, so you know it's going to be good. Then they had this. It's about the game Knockout City that was just showed by EA, but the trailer was so weird off the get go. It was like an army man talking, like an interview, an orc from like World of Warcraft looking orc doing interview, to find out that it is just a massive multiplayer dodgeball game. Like you're in an open city, running around, and you can play dodgeball and catch the ball and like set them out or ping, But like it was so weird, the trailer that threw me off. I'm like, what is this? And then it starts showing that it's a dodgeball game, which looks kind of cool. It has a very cartoony, nice aesthetic. And this one is another one that's going to come to Switch and also PlayStation and also Xbox for online game. So it's kind of neat. Still, it comes out May 21st. But yeah. World's End Club from NIS comes out, and apparently it's some kind of I don't want to call it, it's kind of like Danganronpa in like the Zero Escape trilogy. So it's kind of like the very narrative driven Japanese game. It looks good. I would play it if it came to the other consoles, but yeah, whatever. And then they show like March 19th will be a Hades physical copy version. It comes with a download for the soundtrack for your computer. And then they also showed next was Ninja Gaiden Master Collection is coming to coming out June 10th. And the collection has Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and Ninja Gaiden 3, the Razor, I forgot what it's called, Razor something. That's coming to Switch and also PS5 or PlayStation, and I'm assuming Xbox as well. June 10th. That's kind of cool. I like Ninja Gaiden. They also revealed a expansion pass for Hyrule Warriors 2: Age of Calamity. It'll be $20. And I didn't write down everything that's in the expansion pass, but all I saw was that you buy it and you have content all the way from like the summer to November for $20. Doesn't sound too bad, but obviously go look into it more before you just go jump and buy it. Bravely Default 2 is out February 26th, and the final trailer was revealed there. It looks okay for a. I don't have no ties to that Nintendo DS original game, but obviously the new one's gonna be on Switch, and It looks good. I mean, of course, it's another, I don't want to call it generic, but like obviously a JRPG when you think JRPG. But yeah, February 26th is very soon. And then Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection comes out February 25th, which is basically Ghosts and Goblins, but with a little bit of you can play 2-player and then have different abilities for your second player. Like you can be a person who makes the knight fly or protect him with a barrier and all that stuff. Ghosts and Goblins obviously is a classic, so I would play it. This is a Nintendo exclusive, I believe. But whenever it gets off that exclusivity, I would jump into it on PlayStation. And then they also announced another old JRPG that's coming, getting a remaster, quote unquote, called Saga Frontier. And apparently it's going to have new characters to play. One new character, Fuse, and a new storyline that was I didn't even know when this came out, but it was like this is from either the 80s or the 90s. 90s. But the Saga Frontier, whatever. Finally they announced Apex Legend for Switch, and they also said it's coming out for March 9th, and which we knew. And the first 2 weeks will be double XP for Switch players and exclusive Pathfinder skin you can get for the game. And honestly, they showed a trailer and it kind of looks like a potato. It looks rough because of obviously how much is in Apex. So I take it with a grain of salt if you're going to play it on there as your main version of Apex Legends. But then they also, these are the final two things for this Nintendo Direct. They blue-balled the whole Nintendo group fans they had the director of Legend of Zelda come out, and then obviously through subtitles and stuff you hear him talking, but then he goes, you probably see me and you're thinking, oh, we're going to get some news on Breath of the Wild 2. I'm sorry to tell you, but we don't have any news right now. Sorry. And then he sat there and he basically revealed that they are going to Legend of Zelda, the Skyward Sword remastered for the Nintendo Switch. And last time I checked, I thought everybody on the Zelda fan base hated Skyward Sword. But for me, as a person who didn't play it, it does look interesting only because they finally also, I don't want to say fixed it, but the idea that they put button controls into the game so you can play this on even like a Switch Lite, and no more like you can do motion controls in it, but I'm looking forward to playing it as a button control because I believe, and $60 is questionable for these remasters, but Nintendo knows their fan base they'll suck it dry either way. But I'm all for Nintendo keep doing these remasters or bringing old games back because it helps preserve them for another audience. And also the idea that they are improving it by putting button controls in it. That's cool too. But obviously, yeah, the $60 is where I always question Nintendo of like how can you do this all the time? Like remaster an old game and make you pay $60? Because like the idea of like even like Super Mario, these Super Mario All-Stars was 3 games for $60. I'm like, okay, take a step back, that's $60, boom, boom, boom. But for one game that quote unquote everybody disliked to make them pay $60, you know it's gonna fly off the shelves. I think it's interesting. And they also announced they have new Legend of Zelda Joy-Cons coming that are embroidered with Master Sword decals and one of the shield for each left and right of the Joy-Con. Looks kind of cool. And then they did the one more thing. And honestly, I thought, all right, here's our time. We're going to get some news on Bayonetta 3. Is it going to be any other game that they have announced but they have not talked about since the announcement? Nope. They decided to reveal another game that they basically revealed Splatoon 3. And no real news. They just showed a trailer, and I wish I was more into the Splatoon community, so I can be here and tell you, yeah, that trailer actually told me this and this about the show or about the game. But it just looked like Splatoon to me, and it had this weird spot that the Squidette girl walked from the desert back to the city. And I don't know if walking is new for that, besides outside the arena and the little hub world. So the trailer, but the game is announced that it's going to come out 2022. So, but yeah, that was basically it for the Nintendo Direct. I know I sound like I'm talking like but also as a partial Nintendo fan, I was going to give this like a B-. I think it did good, of course, because I like new games in the sense of the announcement style. Maybe not. I wish they did have news for the Nintendo fans, but I'd say a B-, almost C+. It was okay. I mean, it was for the idea that people were hyping it for 530 days. They did be a little lackluster, but it was fine. But yeah, that was basically. And also, before we get into the Monster Hunter stuff, I forgot. BlizzCon happened, and literally, I get to tell you, they are really honing in on the nostalgia of that brand at the moment. I don't know if COVID really fucked them up so they can't even announce like newer shit before this, but they just basically for new things in the sense of what I'm going to say, like they had news on Overwatch 2, but I don't even think it was like involving release date. They showed a Diablo 4 Rogue trailer, so you can see how the Rogue plays in Diablo 4. But back to what I'm trying to get to is they have World of Warcraft Classic, the expansion for World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Classic coming, and you get to choose like if you want to stay in the original world of World of Warcraft or have your character drop over. So they're basically making you play it again, but in classic mode. I know people ask for it, blah, 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 but I think it's kind of funny. They also announced that Hearthstone is going to get a Hearthstone Classic version, so you get to play the Hearthstone, but with just the original cards of that game. And then they finally announced the biggest elephant in the room, Diablo 2 Remastered, and that's coming to PC and all other consoles that can fit. I don't know about Switch yet, but I'm assuming since Diablo 3 is. But Diablo 2 Remastered is going to come with that. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but the expansion of Diablo 2 is coming to also. And it's no real announced date, but that was basically what I saw off the console. And they also made like this, they have a Blizzard arcade cabinet game too, but it's $20 for 3 fucking arcade games that I have never seen in my life. But whatever. You can buy a deluxe version that gives you a skin for Overwatch and what's another Blizzard game off my top of my head? There was another skin. One was for Overwatch and the other one was for the other Blizzard game. Stupid. It was a skin for Diablo 3. But yeah, but that was basically it for BlizzCon Day 1. Little reveal from me. But back now, we'll get to this masterpiece of movie cinema, Monster Hunter, with Mila Jovovich and her I think they're still married, or her husband is the director, the one who did all the Resident Evil movies, and I think he did that classic Postal. But so long story short, I'm gonna say, well, off the get go, we're gonna say don't buy this, don't watch it. All right, we already know. Don't watch it. But if you're going to watch it, just rent it or wait for a good sale. Do not buy it right now for $20. I don't care because I'm going to say it in a weird way. The trailers are the best part of this movie, and I know people are going to listen to this review and go, well, Mike, I know that. That's why. Don't be dumb. Why'd you buy it? But the idea of the beginning seemed interesting. They do. I'll spoil it all right here like this. They start off with the hunters, and I've never seen this in the game. I'm not saying it's not real, but they're on a pirate ship in the desert, sailing through the desert, but with a boat, whatever. And then they get attacked by Diablos, and makes Tony Jaa's character fly off the boat. And then it makes it look like the ship sails away with him, even though it's sand. So he blah 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 blah. Then they switch to the army place, and this is where I should have saw the canary in the coal mine right then and there, because not about the part I'm going to say, but like they have an army crew and they're driving, and next thing you know, they meet up. It looks like they meet up with T.I., but T.I. then ends up in their car. For no reason, like it has this weird thing that they're looking for another Bravo, another team, and then T.I. They act like T.I. was with them through the whole time until you revealed them that he was outside. Like it's some weird. There's some weird cutting in this movie that is so bad. But the part that I was going to say I respected when I was first watching, like. Mila Jovovich goes in. Well, her whole team goes into the Monster Hunter world within 10 minutes. So I'm like, okay, they cut out that whole bullshit. 10 minutes, and boom, we're in the Monster Hunter world for an hour and a half. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Nope. Turns out this motherfucking movie is an hour and 10 minutes in the fucking desert, because Monster Hunter, apparently this movie only has 5 monsters. One is Diablos, one's a spider that lives in the desert that is scared of the sun, one is a nice looking monster like an Achiosaurus, like those Bumpy from the Jurassic World. And the other one was the one that Tony Jaa chops its head off and we eat. And the other one's Rathalos, which is in the trailer. The one that's the famous one now. But long story short, the idea I'm trying to say is the Diablos kills basically Mila Jovovich's crew, or punches them so much that the spider ones find them when they run away from the cavern, which is still in the sand. They capture all of them because they left Mila Jovovich thinking she died and all that shit. And like, it's this whole clusterfuck of like these moments that could be interesting in another movie. Like, cause then it goes into like, you watch the other, basically her whole team got captured by the spiders and killed. And you see T.I.'s body have, spiders growing out of it and popping out cause they put eggs in him and all that shit. And like, it's so crazy, this over the top thing. And then she gets out, of course, because it's a movie. Tony Jaa meets up with her because he was kind of helping them at the same time with some weird dumb way of just shooting an arrow and like, wait, this is chalk. But it kept going downhill and downhill so badly. I couldn't explain it. So then, obviously, we'll get into the part of, okay, Tony Jaa meets up with Mila Jovovich, and they're obviously like that. I don't know you, you don't know me, so we're going to look like we're doing kung fu fighting. And the idea that the most unrealistic thing of a world with giant monsters and giant spiders was that Mila Jovovich could one-on-one Tony Jaa. That's the most unrealistic part of this fantasy world. But we still got it. It's so weird. But that's the part that got me mad is one of the main mission once they finally become friends. All right, we got to take care of that Diablo so we can get to this the Sky Tower, which is the main plot, which is what made the Sky Tower is the thing that makes people switch sides, either the Monster Hunter world or the real world. So, but here's the thing that gets me mad. So she's like, we have to go back to my truck because we still have an RPG in the truck. And he goes, like, because also that's the best part. He can't speak her language. So he's doing like these caveman style going, and going, like, he's pointing at the spider nests. We have to go get a spider venom to go, hey, he's like, and then he points at Diablos and he goes to sleep. Shh. He's going to go to sleep. And then you have Mila Jovovich being the subtitles. All right, let's go. And then so they use her as bait, bring out a spider, they chop off his pointer to make for the venom. And long story short, because he's an archer, they did it and they shot an RPG. No, that's the best part. They did that, and then he gives her 2 dual blades that can charge up and put fire on them, like from the game. Like, why are you doing that? You have weapons and you're going to look for a little piece of venom? That's the confusing part. There's a lot of things to it, and then the best part was they get to the they actually go through with this plan. They go to her ship, and what is it? They shoot his RPG, and the best part of the RPG, they chose to show that this RPG had a lock-on system, which it doesn't. It's literally just a tube. It looked like a potato gun for an RPG. There's no electronics on this thing. It's just so confusing, that part. And they get past the Diablos, and they keep going through the sand. And stick with me, what I'm going to say. Then they get to this oasis where you see like the nice dinosaur monster. And the one that pops out of the sand, he chops real quick, haha, bait, blah, blah, blah. And they eat it, to give you that aesthetic of how Monster Hunter is. You can kill them and sometimes eat them and blah, blah, blah. And this is an hour and 20 minutes in. In the oasis, during the sun, because also when we meet Tony Jaa, he is holding on to these 2 little figurines. He goes, and long story short, you get through Mila Jovovich. Oh, it's his family that died. And in my head, I'm thinking, it's like, is he talking about maybe his friends that are on that pirate ship? They never speak about it. But in the oasis, there is just a typical monster thing. Oh, stampede happening. And then you meet up with the fucking other people that were on that pirate ship for the first time at an hour and 15 to 20 minutes. And it's Ron Perlman is the only motherfucker in that group that can speak English. And the best part is, you can speak my language. I took a study on it since you're not the first one from your world. Like, they act like this has happened before. Oh my God. It's a clusterfuck. I know I'm saying it like a cluster, but I'm probably saying it better than the movie did. So at an hour and 20 minutes, we had our first info drop. We have 20 minutes left of this movie. And that's with credits. We had our first info drop at an hour and 20 minutes of why we're watching this movie. Long story short is that his crew, Ron Perlman's crew with Tony Jaa was in it, is we're going to the Sky Tower to investigate why this storm's happening, but there's a Rathalos there. And that's also when the first time where the trailer gets you thinking, oh, it's going to be some real Monster Hunter stuff. Like, you see a monster, you see a Palico. So an hour 25 minutes in, you get to see your first Palico, which is that cat person that's like the chef from Monster Hunter Worlds. Very fan fiction, not fan fiction, fan service. Like, here's the Palico, blah, blah, blah. And watch him make one meal. But the part I'm trying to say is that after that, all right, let's go to the Sky Tower. There is 10 minutes of what I would say I'd rather see, like, if you guys rent it, there's 10 minutes. Just go watch the you could do this. You could watch that movie and have no problem knowing what's going on. If you watch from the Oasis, so that's an hour 20 in until the end. So if you want to watch a 30-minute TV show of Monster Hunter, the movie, you would be, okay, that wasn't that bad. And you'd get the most Monster Hunter of the game in those 30 minutes. Everything else, sand, army people, Nothing else. Walking around in the sun. But that 10 minutes of watching Tony Jaa's bow and he was like the bow and arrow from the game, and Ron Perlman uses I forgot what kind of hammer it is, but it's the hammer that can charge up and you can punch and it kind of shoots. It can shoot a area effect in front of it. So, but the idea that they're fighting the Rathalos for a quick second, and then turns out, oh no, the storm's going to happen at the Sky Tower again, and it pushes Mila Jovovich back to the real world. It makes it look like that, and the Rathalos. And then now there's a rescue team looking for these teams over with the plane. And then, long story short, the Rathalos kills them. It's so confusing what happens in this last 5 minutes. That Mila Jovovich gets up and is fighting with the blades that make fire. And Tony Jaa apparently went through the storm, saved it, and shot, they killed the Rathalos. The most dumbest way. He died. The Rathalos died because she used, not even a weapon, that's what it was. She used the sling, she used the grappling hook. I forgot that they've been foreshadowing this grappling hook for 2 minutes. She shot this, flare or something into its mouth because the mouth creates gas before it makes fire, blah, blah, blah. Made a hole into the Rathalos' neck, and Tony Jaa comes out of nowhere, shoots a bomb arrow into its neck and kills it, blah, blah, blah. But the besides the idea that I went through this whole fucking movie is that the ending is nothing. There's no ending. There is no ending besides the idea that Mila Jovovich finds out that Tony Jaa came over to help because of one of the monsters and Ron Perlman came over. And Ron Perlman goes, oh, you thought I was going to let one of my monsters come to your world because I don't want you guys over, blah, blah, blah. And then the storm takes them away and it goes credits. It doesn't even really I'm serious. You think I'm also paraphrasing? They cut the movie to look like it is going to have a sequel. And then to have the idea that I really wish I was wrong. The idea that he had no actual ending to this movie. Besides, we're going back into the storm. We're going back to the Monster Hunter world. And then the best part also was there was a mid-credit scene. Just to see the Palico look like he was a hooded person watching from the Sky Tower, but it was the Palico about to showing his flamed sword and going to be part of the help of the fight. That was not even there. I hope if you're a Monster Hunter fan, which I am, this is why I watch it, and also the trailers are very off compared to how would I word it? He had something with Resident Evil. Not saying they're good, but the idea of you had a shtick that I could handle. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and even all the other ones, I think there's fucking 7 of them. They had something to it that didn't feel so incomplete compared to this one. I don't want to blame them, but also it sounds dumb, but this is another 10-cent movie that has these weird off-put fucking things going on. The reason I say that is because I watched the movie Midday and I didn't like it because it had it has this weird feeling. Like I said, I don't know if it's because it's 10 cent and it goes into even Kong Skull Island. I don't like Kong Skull Island more than the fights but there's something to the aesthetic of Kong Skull Island with maybe it's too much colored. They had that green smoke, white smoke, yellow smoke fucking moments and shit. I don't know if it's because it's 10 cent. It just has this weird shtick to me that I'm I don't know what is going on. But Monster Hunter is by far, if I had to pick, I wouldn't put 1.5 out of 5 maybe 1.5 out of 10. But I would suggest everybody, if you want to just see kind of like a shtick of what Monster Hunter is, the game, just fuck it. Illegally download this. Do not give them money, but illegally download it and just watch the 30 minutes that I'm speaking of, and you can cut it. You can probably cut right when Milla Jovovich goes back to the fucking real world before they really kill the Rathalos. So watch 25 to 20 minutes from the Oasis to when the storm takes Milla Jovovich back with the Rathalos. Just watch that, and then you'll get a true feeling of what Monster Hunter is in a good way. That's the best part of the movie. 20 minutes out of 140 minutes. Not 100, an hour and 40 minutes. Boom. But yeah, that's this week's episode. And this week's Hot Picks is for TV. Is actually going to be a good one. It already happened, but I'm hoping it will come to YouTube maybe within this week. If not, it's on me. But also, I really hope you guys can go catch. Comedy Central had a documentary for Patrice O'Neal called "Killing Is Easy," and it looked really well. And Patrice O'Neal is probably one of my favorite, or if not my favorite, stand-up comedian, who obviously has passed away. He died from diabetes. But you can, I don't want to do because I don't know I don't know who uploaded it and who's collecting anything from this. But Patrice O'Neal's Elephant in the Room is on YouTube for free. And is probably one of the best stand-up specials, knowing that that's his last special, that it's great. It's beautifully done. And then this week for comics, you know what? For comics, I'm picking Spawn 315, not because of anything to my knowledge of this is a issue to jump into, is because this week also I forgot to mention is that Todd McFarlane has announced that there is going to be 3 books of Spawn coming out, and they're all going to be in the same shared Spawn universe. So it's a good time if you want to get into Spawn before these start cracking off. Look at that. And then for music, I wasn't sure if I was going to pick this because of just me, but I am picking NF Clouds. What reason I'm also really picking it is because apparently NF grew up and bloomed in a town that was next to my hometown, and we obviously were in the same even conference for football and stuff. I don't want to put him in a spot like that, but yeah, and then people around here knew about him. I didn't know about him like that. But NF Clouds, apparently it's the single from his coming up mixtape. But it was, it's not being me to him, but this might be, maybe it's because of me. This might be another one of those, if it's possibly might be a bad Cousin Cecil hot pick, but I doubt it. But yeah, NF Clouds. But yeah, that will be this week's episode. Thank you guys for listening. Like always, please follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93. Twitch.tv/Cousin Cecil. That's CUZNCISEAL. You can also follow me on Instagram for Cousin Cecil. But yeah, basically, hopefully I saved you $20 with the Monster Hunter review, and then and spoilers because I said fuck it. But until next time, be good to each other, and then peace.